Oh,
go Richie. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Third Down Thursdays.
It's back.
MJ and Coach Bruce as professional as always, as well-timed and taken care of as always. Bruce is wearing a Bears jersey. He's excited.
It's a Tom Waddle jersey.
It's a what?
Thomas Waddle.
Oh, I like it.
I like Tom Waddle. I had to get that jersey. But yeah, sorry. Continue.
That's fair. I agree.
Intro.
But yeah, we are back from Vegas. I have to work so much this week to make up for all the money we spent in Vegas. It's so much fun. So if anybody thinks I look crabby today, that's like half of the reason why. The other half is Bruce, and you can attest to this being a technology guy.
Yes.
Putting my technology back together after transporting it across the country is so annoying. Literally, and Bruce can attest to this, I've been losing my mind for the last 2 hours.
What was the hardest part for you with it? Like, is it the computer aspect, or is it just the sounds and everything like that, or is it just all the above?
So I literally keep all of my stuff right here. I really almost never take my computer out of the house.
Oh, fair.
When I do, Bruce and Richie know I have a tendency to lose it and not lose it, forget that I took it to work. I do that all the time. So I legitimately don't bring my computer to work anymore because
you don't have to.
I will forget it. I do some stuff on the computer, but I just do it on the PC in the office. So there's that's just like transporting everything. I had to take my mic, the camera, the lights, the tripods. They're literally half of my suitcase was my clothes when I was in Vegas. The other half was technology. So it was just a lot of stuff. I actually had to put a few things in Paige's suitcase when we left Chicago because my suitcase was 53 pounds.
Oh, no. Yeah.
So I had to throw a couple things in her suitcase because it just was not working well. But yes, I am going to make bank this week. End up working probably like 58 hours this week or something like that.
That's not you're getting that OT, dog.
Oh yes, I am. I'm going to get a lot of overtime.
So
and we got paid today, so it's fine.
Fair.
I'm okay.
I'm okay. So but genuinely though, man, Eric and I talked about it last night on Beers and Sports. But I figured it'd be appropriate. Richie, that'd be awesome if you can jump in real quick too. Please. Thank you. I thought it'd be an opportunity for me to say this to you guys relatively face to face and on air. Thank you both very much. I cannot tell you both how grateful I am and appreciative I am of both of you guys for representing our brand and doing the things that you guys did in Vegas, because the fact that I was able to see on my phone 5,000 views just on Facebook alone, based off of the things that you both did there. Thank you very much. I sent it over text message and everything like that, but I wanted to do it like this too. Thank you both so much. I appreciate it. And genuinely, like right now, if you guys were here, I'd give you both a huge ass hug. But
come here, Bruce. Come here.
But no, thank you guys so much. It was much appreciated, and you guys busted your asses, and you could totally see it. And watching it from my downstairs area and seeing the things that you were doing and bringing in the people that you were doing and talking to the people that you were talking to, it was incredible. I'm grateful, and I'm humbled, and I'm just absolutely just appreciative of what you guys did. So thank you.
And to add on to that, Bruce, just to give, because we don't really care. We do this just to give a little behind the curtain to everybody. The views that we got on everything we did draft related. Now, obviously, there were 2 shows, all the TikToks, all the stuff like that. The views we got on just the 2 days of draft content alone is more views than we got in like the entirety of 2022 so far.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we had an incredible amount, and I'm talking like new eyes that were on the stuff we were doing. So what we were able to do, you, me, and Richie, across the board, and Eric as well, with him riling me up while I was in Vegas. What we were able to do as a team was incredible, and you could see it in the numbers, which sometimes it isn't always about the numbers. There are times we have good shows that you and I feel really good about. Yes, we did. Thank you, Warren. There are times that we will have a good show. We feel really good about it. The numbers just aren't there on a given day. So it's really good for all of the hard work we put in surrounding the draft coverage to actually see the numbers that kind of quantified how good we felt about what we did.
Agree.
Yeah. And I've told you guys this too, like, it's hard for us to get live views, right? So the fact that people, we're all a bunch of schmucks, not really known,
Oh, please. Come on.
And the fact that people, and especially during like the NFL season, we're competing with, Thursday Night Football, so the fact, so usually our live shows, we don't get many live audience because, not people are not going to want to, and plus we're on a very obscure streaming services, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter. We're not on a TV, I mean? So it's, our live audience is not necessarily very high all the time. It's usually a lot of our
they might be high. That's not true. They might be high.
You make a good point, Bruce.
Sorry, go ahead.
If they're watching us, there's a decent chance. Anyway.
Yeah. But a lot of our traffic comes from the clips that I post on Twitter or TikTok or whoever posts, MJ, Bruce, whatever. That's where a lot of our traffic is. So the fact that we got over 5,000 live viewers
just
in
on
our
Facebook,
show,
just on Facebook,
which that's why I would say like 5,000 plus viewers in total during our live shows is pretty ridiculous. And the fact that we made it to the draft, and the fact that we've doing this for I've been helping you for maybe a little bit over a year, maybe a little under, whatever. And but you guys been doing this for 2 years, and I've been doing it for about a year. And the fact that we made it this far pretty quickly, I might add, is pretty impressive. So
Richie, sorry to interrupt, but to that point, you got whoever was watching the draft show, you met Joe, who Richie and I met, who I can't say enough good things about that man. He's
fantastic. He's fantastic.
So entertaining.
That was awesome.
He took care of us.
You should have seen him off the air.
Oh my gosh, even better. We'll get all of us in person at some point. That'll be a good time. But he, when we were walking around at one point, he looked at me. He's like, "So how long have you guys been doing this? Kind of just trying to get more acquainted with what we do." Yeah. And I told him that we've only been doing this for 2 years. I said, we started during the pandemic, and really we've only been going crazy for like a year. I said,
I agree.
Basically since you brought me on. Yeah. Basically since you brought me on.
So
it was because of you, Richie.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, really having, what the day that Bruce and I sat down and we're like, hey, we're going to have a producer, that, the first like official other person that we brought on, that made it feel even more real. So really just in one NFL season cycle, we've been able to, get NFL credentials, all of this. So even Joe, who's an old man, has been doing this longer than all of us put together.
Yeah, he's even older than you, Bruce.
Oh, yeah, he's even older than Bruce. He makes Bruce look like a baby.
But the fact of the matter is, this gentleman that you met in Vegas, I get a text message from you saying, I feel like it's you, but not like you.
Yeah, like it
was great, like
an spin-off version of Bruce.
Yeah, and it was great, and I was like, all right, well, whatever. And the fact that you guys brought him on live, and I was able to kind of sense his vibe and like how he is and stuff. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought the guy was amazing. And in fact, it was funny as you were talking, I ended up texting him, excuse me, just now. I'm like, hey man, what's up, Joe? It's Bruce. And he's like, what's good? I'm cool. How are you? So like,
I love that man. I love that man so much.
He is so chill. He was he even jumped in on the make fun of Richie train immediately. Like he was.
Yeah.
Listen, I have no problem with being I have no problem with being the butt of the joke. I can take it. And the fact that he knew me for barely a few hours and he was already making fun of me and shit is great.
So Bruce, great. You'll love this. You'll love this.
Oh yeah, Jesus, here we go.
So he basically took everything that he could make fun of Richie on and just turned it into a strike system. So every time Richie couldn't do something that Joe thought he should be able to do, whether that be partying or
Oh, here we
working
go.
wise.
Oh,
He turned it into a strike. So, for example, right
losing
before
you
we went
to
out with Joe on Friday night,
Okay, hold on, time out. Sorry. Hold on, time out.
We went to the -5 bar. We went there a couple of days ago. On Wednesday, but we went back. Yes, that's where we got the Raiders picture. But we went back
Oh, here
on
we
the
go.
outside of the bar without getting in. You could get giant like slushy cups.
Yeah, no, I had one.
Yeah.
My wife, like Selena and I got one when we were out there before. Not there,
Right.
but I know.
So I drank mine. Paige drank hers. Maggie drank hers. Richie.
Oh no.
Drank about a fifth of his.
I got about
halfway
halfway
around like a bumbling idiot. And so I look at Joe when we see him. I'm like, Joe, you know those big drinks we can get in here, right? He's like, yeah, those are really cool. He's like, I love those. I said, Richie couldn't finish it. I forget what strike one was, but he goes, that's strike two, homie.
Strike one was strike one. Strike one was me losing to you in the 40-yard dash.
Yeah, strike one was Richie losing to me in the 40-yard dash while I was wearing my full suit.
Oh, by the way, that was awesome. Please tell me we have that. Okay, so
I have it.
Do we have it overlaid?
Is it overlaid? Hold
on, don't do it yet. So
I don't have it.
I
don't think we have it on here, but
I did.
I can put it up.
I proposed this thought process because you know how on Beers and Sports with Eric and I, we do a cheers and chug of the week.
Right.
I wanted to do a thirsty third down Thursdays. I don't know, play of the week or some bullshit, something cheesy, something like that. So I propose that this is our first thirsty third down Thursdays play of the week or something like that.
You really need a better name for that.
I know.
I like it.
No, I agree. It's
you
too
really
long.
need a better name for that.
It's too long. Thirsty third downs. No. This is live
right now. Why can't it just
now.
be the third down Thursdays play of the week? Why does it have to be thirsty?
I don't know, because of Thirsty Thursdays.
Right, but we're third down Thursdays. We're not thirsty Thursdays.
Yeah, but we're thirsty on
Richie may be thirsty, but that doesn't mean that it has to be.
Oh, yes. Please, we're going to get on that. We're going to get on that. Like Richie.
No, we're not going to get on that. Let's just say.
I was talking about the shot.
Oh.
Off the nipple.
Nah. Well,
not a real one, guys. It was just.
Let me tell you.
Unfortunately for Richie.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll get to that later, actually. Because anyway.
What?
MJ knows. He lives on the other side.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Things were rattling, or okay. Anyway,
why'd you jump on? What's your point?
Yeah. So the nipple. Yeah, the nipple.
The nipple.
Yeah. So in the ice bar, I don't know how much you know, but like they had everything. The walls were ice. There was stuff inside the walls of the ice. The tables are solid ice. The chairs are solid ice.
No, yeah. So was it? So I'm sorry to interrupt, and this is totally just me trying to clarify. Was that an actual Raiders bar?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, there was just a wall that had Raiders pictures.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Yeah, it had a bunch of different art and stuff.
I would never go to a Raiders bar.
First of all, okay. So real quick, before, and I did ask you guys this like in our group chat, but we are from Illinois. It's generally cold or chilly or whatever. And you guys go to Vegas, where at the time it was like what, 70, 80, 85, 90?
It was like 85,
80 to 90.
Okay. And you decide to go to a bar that's -5 degrees.
Yeah, it was his wife's idea, or a future's wife idea.
Oh, fair.
It was. But also, because we're from Illinois, it didn't phase us and we weren't cold.
Well,
that's
true.
Also valid.
Everybody else was running out of there. And so they were giving us drink coupons because
they gave us like they gave us. We got free drinks.
You still have them, don't you?
No, we
used them.
Oh, I hope so. Okay, I was gonna say, well, genuinely, I would hope you would have used them then. But it was chance.
It was cold in there. The only thing that was really hot in there, according to Richie, was the bartender.
Oh, she was so hot, dude.
Richie was a big fan of the bartender.
What was her name? Claudia?
Chelsea.
Okay,
Bruce, I need you to help Richie on this, and we are tangenting so much, but
whatever. This is fine.
Richie
sorry,
sucks
guys.
at names.
Like, so do I.
Out
Dude, genuinely, so do I. Okay,
so
No, I'm terrible. I will honestly say that I am.
I didn't know that.
Flat out, I am so bad. Like I thought your name was like RJ for the first like 6 months. And I'm just kidding. But like genuinely, I am so bad at names. Like you can walk up to me and introduce yourself to me, and at first I'll be like, okay, his name's Michael. All right, Michael. And then like I'll go off and have a conversation with somebody else or something like that. And
You
then
come back, you're like, hey, Chad.
right, 100%. And I'll totally admit it.
Like, what?
I'm so bad at it. And the fact that like I work in an area that requires me to remember some names, dude. Like I'm gonna tell you right now, there are people that walk around my work that I still don't know what their names are.
You're like, excuse me, ma'am, who are you? But anyway, like Richie will see attractive girls when we're out. And
I love how he jumps off on the.
Oh my God! Remember the girl from the fuck's that one restaurant's called?
Wow!
No, Twin Peaks.
Yes.
I do.
Shout out to Jack and Kevin and Charlie on Twin Peaks. That's hilarious.
Anyway, and the Hooters girl. Oh, it was great times.
Wow, you guys went to Hooters and Twin Peaks.
No, when we're in the Combine, you twat.
Oh. Well, yeah, The Hooters was at the Combine. Yeah, not Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
There was no Twin Peaks there.
Yeah, but Richie just sucks at remembering names, and he'll ask me, he'll like, "What was her name?" And I'm like, "Richie, this is why you have no game." Because you can't remember their name.
I mean, clearly I do. Like, evidently.
Okay. Yes.
Anyway, back to the original point.
I was about to say this has potential to go down in like a way that we don't want to go down.
Back to the way that Richie doesn't want it to go down.
Hey, we said we're not going to talk about this. Anyway,
yes, I'm aware. We can still screw with you.
Anyway, the point is everything was made out of ice, so it was cool. They had this like ice sculpture. I just threw my fucking phone. They had this ice sculpture, right? Ice sculpture. And it had you know tits, right? And they had like this little funnel that funneled through where the nipple would be. And
so what's the cup size?
It looked like a C.
The fact that he had an immediate answer.
All right, it was so quick.
He did not pause.
Hey, listen, I know my.
It was so quick.
Breast, okay, I know my woman breast. Okay. Anyway, the point is
the cup size was a C. Good job.
At least a C. Yeah, at least a C. So you're like, let's do a shot of Jameson for Bruce, even though we both hate Jameson.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and then we sucked the titty.
So it came down.
You had to legitimately. It didn't come down. You had to suck for it to come down. But we didn't suck enough. We had to go back in for more.
I'm gonna take him out before.
What did he say?
Pause. Richie, go find that 40-yard dash video.
Oh man, I'm sorry. Legit, my eyes are watering. This has been the best first 20 minutes of our show ever, I think. Oh my gosh, that was great. I love how he highlighted that. I love how Richie highlighted that one.
No, that was me. I highlighted it.
Oh man, wait, what? What is it? This is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, this is
great. The NFL draft happened. There's no good way to transition out of this.
Not at all. Oh my god.
The one I'll give one more like general thing before we dive into some.
I have one question.
Current sports stuff.
Hold on. I do have one question after your point though.
Yes. No. It's you can ask the question first because it's probably more related to what I was gonna say.
No. So you've been a part of two. Excuse me. Woo! You've been a part of two NFL drafts now. Consecutively. Yes. Obviously, one was a little bit tempered because of COVID. This one being in Vegas. So you go from one extreme to the other. What were the biggest highlights about this one that you had compared to the other one. And like obviously they're very, very stark differences between both of them because of the current the situation that was going on with COVID. But what was the difference? No, excuse me. What were the best highlights that you could take away from what happened? Wow.
I
Okay.
think there were two. Richie
Relax
already highlighted that. Don't be.
I know.
Okay, Richie has the race clip, so I'll try to be quick. So I think the biggest difference for me, and this kind of goes hand in hand, is there was a lot more just action and excitement in this draft. Part of the reason for that was because this draft was not as top heavy as a lot of the drafts we've seen recently. True. So when I was in Cleveland, we knew who the first 7 or 8 draft picks were going to be.
Right.
There was no excitement. There was no parity. There was no debate over who was going to.
It was all chalk. It was all chalk.
Exactly. After the second pick, the draft was insane from start to finish. Like teams were moving up and down, absolute chaos. There were more trades than we've had in a lot of the recent years of NFL drafts. So that was exciting.
Cats and dogs living with each other. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters. Sorry. It's an old ass reference.
Yeah, I know you're old. It's fine. So part of the other reason that it was exciting going along with that is I've had a year of covering the NFL, meeting people. So I was able to know a lot more things behind the scenes than I did a year ago. A year ago, I was reacting to what was happening. This year, I was doing a lot more of this is what's going to happen because I know it's going to happen.
Right.
Or this is very likely to happen, or this is why, things like that. So the one thing I'll put specifically to that, Packers drafted Christian Watson at 34. Bruce, do you know the reason why they took him at 34 and they didn't take him in the first round?
No, because you haven't told me this.
So that is correct. So the Packers knew that nobody after 22
asshole.
would take love you too would take a wide receiver. They had done their homework and they were confident that nobody from 22 to 32 would. Yeah, Richie, but I did some digging into it. He's trying to be all cocky.
I can't hear him.
Richie. Oh, are you not in the Zoom?
No, I'm in the Zoom. I can't hear him.
Oh, he's talking in the Zoom, so you might want to fix your settings. Okay, I'll give Richie credit. He showed me a tweet that the Packers wanted to move up to 32 at the end of the first round to take Christian Watson. The Minnesota Vikings didn't let the Packers move up because they didn't want Christian Watson to have a 5th-year option. The only issue was Packers and Bucs front offices, because of recent history, don't have a particularly fantastic relationship. The Bucs had pick 32. The Vikings also had pick 34. And then the Packers were worried that a wide receiver run would start at 35. So the Vikings basically cornered the Packers.
We did see a wide receiver run too. But
exactly. So the Vikings cornered the Packers in the wide receiver market. And the Packers internally legitimately had to take the approach that they were going to have with their 2 picks, apply it to the Minnesota Vikings, see what the Vikings would be able to do with those 2 picks, and see if it was worth sending 2 extra picks to Minnesota to get Christian Watson. Ultimately, they decided yes, they really liked him. I believe he was the 3rd wide receiver on their board. And
I don't know. You didn't send me that board. You didn't send me that board.
You want to know why I didn't send you that board? Because it was a smoke screen. It wasn't real.
Well, fair. Anyway,
after the draft played out, I could tell you for a fact
it was all bullshit.
Real. Yes.
Fair.
So that's why I didn't do anything with it, because it wasn't real. That was my guess, but who knows? So yeah, it was just overall really fun. A lot more action. I was able to be involved with a lot more things like that, so that was a lot of fun. So hopefully next year, Third Down Thursdays can actually go crazy and break some.
We'll all be there, and we're going to go big with it too.
Yes, and now that we know what's going on, we can kind of maneuver. We might have some better equipment, things like that. So I think now that Richie and I have been there, we've actually broadcasted from the draft before. I think, and I don't know if it's too crazy to say
whoa! Don't say it, because we already talked. I already talked.
No, it's nothing that we've talked about.
Not you. Well, right.
It's nothing that we've talked about.
Okay,
I promise you, it's not. It wasn't that crazy.
Go ahead.
Something I was going to say.
Oh,
I was just going to say I think we can broadcast from the Super Bowl. Is what I was going to say.
That is crazy. That's what I was saying not to say.
Oh, why would I? Why shouldn't I say that?
Because I want to have it a for sure thing before we decide to just be like, yeah.
Well, we've gotten these credentials now, and they're the same credentials.
So we're gonna touch on that now, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, this is totally this is the fun show after the NFL draft, because we did kind of evaluate, we did kind of throw out some stuff out there, and we're gonna touch on it because I do want to talk about the hilariousness between you and Eric. But
for sure.
But oh, you know what? All right, so Richie actually just got the race clip between. Hold on, let me set this up. All right. So coaching MJ, I did.
Oh boy. Oh, we're going here. Okay.
Yeah. So coaching MJ, and knowing that he had back issues and stuff like that, so MJ and Richie ended up doing the 40-yard dash in Vegas, and it was legit. It was just a 40-yard sprint. Boom, done. That being said, MJ had a bad back problem, and still continues to have it, if I may, right? So
yes, I broke my spine. I had a avulsion fracture of my L5 my sophomore year of high school, and the point I made to Richie was medically I have not been cleared to resume full athletic activity.
Hold on, Richie. I'm sorry, I'm adding you into the stream. Is that okay? All right, make sure you mute yourself so we're not getting the. All right, so real quick. So when I heard that you guys were going to race each other, when I saw the video, I was like, damn, dude, genuinely, I was like, damn, Richie might smoke MJ. But knowing how competitive MJ can be, and knowing that he was no way in hell was he gonna let you win at all, Richie, I was like, okay. But I will say this, I'm actually kind of shocked at how much he smoked your ass.
He didn't even okay, hold on. He didn't even smoke me. He won by 1/10 of a second. It was very close. Even the lady who recorded the video said, I don't know who won. It looked close.
I wish I was there. I would have fucking smoked
But Richie, 1/10 of a second is the difference between a wide receiver getting drafted in the first round and the second.
Listen, I have never claimed to be fast. Okay, I have never
in my either. I claimed that I would kick your butt in a suit, and I did.
And you didn't kick my butt. You won by 1/10 of a second. Now, regardless, it was good fun.
Bruce, can I be honest with you? My back hurt a little bit the next day. I'll be dead serious. We went to the pool the next day, and I'm walking around. I'm like, oh, I'm a little stiff.
Bruce,
you're muted.
Your sound.
I hear you.
Oh, sorry. Apparently, I was too loud. The soundboard muted me. So the funny thing about that is the whole back hurting the next day and stuff like that. I've never had any kind of, other than sprained ankles, broken bones, whatever. I've never once had any kind of ailment that effed me up and caused me to be oh, my back is done or anything like that until 2020 when I was working out in my garage and I was doing squats and as I was racking the weights doing squats, I felt a pop in my lower back.
No.
So ever since then, I've been struggling with lower back issues, and it's been hurting not all the time, but sometimes. But that being said,
you're also old, so.
Well, right. That's what I'm saying, though. I'm getting to the point now where I'm 37 years old. Things go out and things happen, whatever. I still run. I went for a 2-mile run on Monday, so fuck you, Richie. But anyway, I love this.
Yeah, the way with my back that I put it is it's just I don't have the extra gear that I used to have. When you're an athlete, you have an extra gear when you really need it, you can run
that's
fast,
a great
you
point,
can
Mike.
go harder,
Mike,
whatever it is.
Mike,
and I just don't have that anymore.
All right, so real quick, my fastest 40 time, like hand record or hand timed and everything like that, and God's honest truth was a 4.5.
I gotta be honest with you. I thought we were much faster than I thought we were going to be.
Oh yeah, no, it was funny. Before we ran, we were like, I really hope we break 6 seconds.
No, I'm like,
4.6,
no,
4.6,
he's like,
4.6.
I'm like, there's no way we get in the 5s, right? Because I'm about 25 pounds overweight. I'm usually in like the 190 range, and right now I'm like 230, 225. So I'm like 25 pounds overweight, and I haven't done anything athletic in years. So like,
I'm not a small guy.
And we're me and MJ are both the same height, about the same size, and like there's no way we break 5, right? And we broke, what was it, like what, 5.4 and 5.5 and 5.6?
You gotta play it now. You gotta play it.
Yeah,
you gotta play it.
So this is us running.
Richie had you in the 10 to 20 yard range, and then his top end speed was better than yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was a lineman, they would have been shaking their heads at my 10 to 20. Yep.
So I mean, the fact
because I didn't have the range of movement.
Can we do that again?
More if I wasn't in a suit.
Can we show it again? Can we show it again?
See, it's very close.
That's not
very
bad.
Close.
It's not bad.
I thought I actually won.
I thought
I won, and then he looked at the clock.
So could you imagine if Richie won that race, MJ? Can you imagine the ridicule you would have gotten from Richie and the?
Oh, so much. But I still would have been able to say I was in a suit. Like that was what I was going to fall back on.
Oh no, you can't.
I'm in a suit.
He had a trump card either way. He had a fucking trump card either way.
But it was even
either way. I would have not have gotten satisfaction.
Oh man. All right, so I'll transition. So Richie, well done, great race, great job, you're amazing. MJ, obviously, you already know I think the world of you. You're amazing too. But man, dude. So that being said, during the NFL draft, Eric did not think that the Packers draft was amazing. Best part about that though was last night when we were talking about everything, but pre-show, Eric and I were talking about it. Don't get me wrong. I still don't think the wide receivers for the Packers are like, holy shit. They're all of a sudden in the top 10, top 5
right.
of you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not, but so we were talking about it and Eric responds to me. He's like, dude, after I said what I said, and then looking at the Bears receivers, they're not much better. And I'm like, I flat out said to him, like, I 100% agree. The one caveat to that is Darnell Mooney is a better receiver than I think any of the Packers have right now.
Let him talk. Let him.
That's it. No, like genuinely, that's not digging a hole. Like I would like. So who's the number 1 receiver for the Packers? Fill me in. Yeah,
Lazard.
Yeah. So I personally would rather have Darnell Mooney than Lazard. That's it. Like, and I'm not saying that's not a shot against Lazard. That's not a shot. And I want you to understand that. Like, that's the main thing is I'm not attacking the Packers in any kind of way that is, a homer. That's it. Because to be honest with you, I actually liked what the Packers did with their picks. Okay. So I'm putting that out there. Shit, I liked what the Bears did with their picks after I revisited that. So we'll touch on that too. But yeah, dude, I overall I think that Darnell Mooney is a better receiver than what the Packers have. However, I do think that the overall talent in that wide receiver room now with the Packers is better than the Chicago Bears. That's it. And that's the one thing that Eric and I were talking about last night. And to be honest with you, I thought that like it's a fairly true thing because after Mooney, the Bears don't have anybody. And I think I think with a lot of the guys with the Packers right now are a 1A, 1B, 1C guy. And that's just opinion. That's not, and to be honest with you, having a Hall of Fame quarterback throwing the ball to you is going to make inflate numbers significantly. So
like Alan Lazard's going to get like 900 yards and 8 touchdowns next year.
And who's the offensive coordinator in Green Bay right now? It's not what's his face calling the plays.
No, it's LaFleur calls the plays, but Adam Stenovich is the new OC.
And what LaFleur does with that offense is absolutely insane. So
So and I never even got to say this to Eric the other day, because he was going crazy while I wasn't even trying to talk about it at all. I was like, dude, I don't care. The Packers have 2,000 yards of scrimmage yards in Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. So like, wide receivers are really cool, but also you get so much production from everywhere that the Packers wide receiver room being great on paper, other than that Sports Illustrated cover year in 2011, the Packers wide receiver room on paper has never been great. None of the guys they picked in the second round were ever supposed to be really good receivers. It was the Packers development along with playing with Aaron freaking Rodgers that made them so great. So that's where I'm like, okay, we got our really new, young, shiny toy. You've got the guys that Aaron Rodgers trusts. You've got great offensive line, even more depth now, good running back core, and they've invested in the defense more than ever. I'm happy. Go team.
So well, first of all, like it's actually pretty funny. So we have a potential betting person that's willing to jump on like Beers and Sports that fortunately we're actually pretty decent friends with, and he puts money on games and stuff like that. And to your benefit and Richie's, huge Packers fan. And
nice.
he actually wanted to come on and talk to you about some of the picks that the Packers made too, just to kind of debate a little bit, and just because like I think it's interesting though seeing like some of the differences in opinion of the Packers draft. All right, so that being said, if you could grade the Packers draft, you not like reading everything that you've read and everything like that, what was your initial response? Like genuinely, what was your initial response right away? Like the first thought?
I was happy with it. It matched all of the
A, B, C, D, F.
B+.
That was your first thought right away.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair.
Solid draft.
Okay.
There was no pick where I was really like, oh, I really would have loved this guy instead.
Well, there was no
other than the like if I could have had off the rip, I wanted Jermaine Johnson.
Oh, you did.
But looking in because everybody knows this, I'm not a draft nerd. I didn't know everything there is to know about Quay Walker. I knew he was a fast linebacker from Georgia, and linebackers from Georgia are cool. So that was my initial thing. I was like, okay, the edge rusher I wanted versus
any defense from Georgia is cool.
Exactly. So then I looked into what Quay Walker could do athletically. He's basically just a younger, faster version of Devondre Campbell. So you have your two middle linebackers now, which is great. And I honestly did not know that right away. I knew more about Jermaine Johnson. That's why I wanted the pick. Now I like the pick of Quay Walker better than Jermaine Johnson. So initially there were a couple times, maybe 2 of their 11 picks, I was like, I would have liked this person instead. But again, I'm not one, especially in the draft, to overreact, because I know for a fact that Brian Gutekunst and all the scouts in Green Bay are smarter about football than I am. So
I agree.
That's why I don't overreact about the draft. May overreact about other things, but I will never overreact about the draft.
All right, so that being said, I totally overreacted right away. My first initial response as soon as I saw what the Bears did was C, D. Like I was pissed. I was like, I don't want them to be drafting another quarterback next year because that's what I'm saying, because like, you're not supporting your player. You're not supporting your quarterback. You're not providing him an offensive lineman. You're not providing them with a wide receiver. You're not like what the fuck is going on? So, kind of taking a step back and like doing the same thing you did, doing a little bit of research and stuff like that. I actually really liked what they did with their picks. Unfortunately for Poles, but fortunately for these young men that he drafted, the Chicago Bears have a lot of holes. Holes. And they're switching defensive schemes. They're changing from a 3-4 to a 4-3. They're going to a cover 2 defense. What they did with their picks, I actually liked it. Yeah. So again, that's kind of me backtracking and then like really reevaluating it. Excuse me.
Right.
And no, I was cool with it. I didn't mind it. I thought what they did with the corner from Washington, Kyla Gordon.
Yep.
I think the number was, and it's totally off the top of my head after reading it, and I don't even know if I can remember it. 720, 725, some ridiculous number, consecutive passes to his side that he did not give up a touchdown.
Yeah.
So if you can have a corner that can do that and have Jalen Johnson on the other side, who's been pretty freaking good himself, awesome. And then you end up drafting Jaquan, safety from Penn State. So I apologize. Brisker, thank you. What he's capable of, and everything that I've read about him, is he has big play material with hits. Like he's an in the box guy, and I love that. Yep. And they both, like, I looked at their grades for both of them for their numbers at the combine and their numbers at their pro days. They both graded out as elite, and that was awesome. The one person that I'm kind of freaked out about that they drafted in the 3rd round was the receiver from Tennessee, Velus Jones Jr. Yeah,
the glorified kick returner.
I thought that was a huge reach. That was just my opinion.
Everyone thought that was one of the top 10 graded reaches in the draft.
That was a huge reach. So that's interesting. So Richie just said in my ear that his locker is right next to Justin Fields. Well, that's awesome. I hope Justin Fields is like, listen, motherfucker. But yeah, basically they said like his top end speed, like you, MJ, is absolutely elite. Yeah, you're welcome. His route tree is limited, so that makes sense. So he's 25 years old. He has 63 receptions and over 800 yards receiving. That's fine. However, there's also a number that was, I think, 80% of his passes that he caught were within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, or excuse me, the first down area. So he's exactly. So I think the one thing that he wants to do, or excuse me, Poles wants to do with him, is make him a gadget guy and make him a Deebo Samuel type or whatever. Hopefully it works out. Honestly, as a Bears fan, I want it to work out. That'd be awesome. But
I will say, Bruce, there are a lot of teams that reached on guys like that this year because of Deebo Samuel.
Right. And
so, I mean, great for the guys that got drafted, but
do they all run 4.3s though?
I mean, yeah, but that doesn't mean Bruce, you know better than anyone. 4.3 combine speed does not mean you have that kind of speed.
It's like right. That's why I tell people, like, track speed doesn't necessarily always equivalent to having pads on.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I will be very interested to see how. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
There you go. I'll be interested to see how it turns out. Again, I don't like freaking out about the draft because until you actually see the guys play and until you see them play for a couple of years, it's really hard to see their impact. So I'm excited to see what that looks like.
It's a 3-year window. It's a 3-year window to like see what's good about it, like what they've done. And no, I agree 100%, dude.
Yeah. But with that, last 15 minutes, I really do want to focus on the NBA playoffs because they are very exciting. And I know Bruce and I can both get heated about some basketball. So we got 15 minutes to go crazy about NBA playoff basketball, especially since my Warriors have been catching some news in the last few days.
Can I tell you something right now? And this is
Yes, please.
So Eric and I do the cheers and chug of the week again, like I said. So my chug of the week and our chug of the week is a negative aspect of whatever is I did my chug to Draymond Green and to Steve Kerr.
Okay.
And if you disagree with me on this, I think that's kind of bullshit, to be honest with you, because I genuinely think that you're better than that. So the fact that you had a grown ass man walking out of an arena just flicking off fans and stuff like that, I actually did like what he said from a meathead perspective afterwards in the press conference. I actually thought that was kind of funny. But you see a little girl standing on her dad's thing, and he walks past, and then he's just flicking off everybody, and this, that, and the other. Okay, yeah, you're gonna get booed. That's what happens. It is what it is. Whatever. And I thought that Steve Kerr justifying everything that Draymond Green was doing was absolutely absurd. And then he wants to call out oh my God, his name's escaping me. What's his name? What's
Dylan Brooks?
Yeah, thank you. And then you got Steve Kerr calling out Dylan Brooks for the foul that Dylan Brooks had after Draymond Green ended up slamming dude in the face and dropping him to the ground. And now he has a broken freaking elbow.
No, that's not what happened. Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks broke Gary Payton's elbow, Bruce.
Sorry, excuse me. All right,
but Draymond Green caught the guy that he hit accidentally as he fell down.
Draymond Green
was his reaction bad walking out of the arena? Sure. Yeah,
100%.
Don't flip off a crowd. Okay, but to say that Steve Kerr shouldn't go after Dylan Brooks
for he
breaking
shouldn't.
Somebody's elbow, you just said he shouldn't.
Hold on.
You just said he shouldn't go after Dylan Brooks for breaking Gary Payton's elbow.
I don't think it was an intentional play, though.
Bruce, he shoved him in midair.
No, he did not.
How is that not intentional?
No. Okay.
He ran him over in midair.
Come on. Now I remember.
Dylan Brooks ran Gary Payton
Draymond Green grabbing
in midair.
But he didn't run him over. That's bullshit. Draymond Green grabbed a guy by the jersey and slammed him down, whereas this guy's going for a block and a basketball play. A basketball play. Yeah, no, he didn't.
A basketball play? How is running someone over in midair and pushing him in midair?
He didn't push him. That wasn't a push. He went for a block and hit him upside the head.
He went for a.
So you're thinking
still
that
broke his elbow. He still hit the guy in the head
because he was falling on the ground and bracing himself. That is bullshit, and you're being a fan right now. That's what's the problem right now.
No, I'm watching the play.
No, 100%. What Draymond Green did with grabbing a guy by the jersey and trying to pull him down.
You just don't like Draymond. You said a million times.
That's not true. No, that's not true at all. No, that's bullshit. I do like Draymond.
You just don't like Draymond.
No, 100%. That's 100% disagree. That's not true. That's not true at all. That's not true at all. I actually do like Draymond Green because Tom Thibodeau had him on the draft board for the Chicago Bulls, and I wanted him.
Oh my gosh.
100% disagree. But the fact that you have a guy that's going up in midair, getting ripped, pulled right here, slammed to the ground, and you have another guy that's going up for a layup and getting smacked in the side of the head, and then bracing himself and then falling on his elbow. Those are two complete. One's a basketball. No, that's not a shove. That was not a shove.
To the ground and stand
Richie, grab that play. Richie, grab that.
So Dylan Brooks can stand over Gary Payton after he breaks his elbow, and that's
different. That's a completely
realizes what he did and tries to catch the guy, and that's not okay.
Completely different argument.
Completely different?
No, because you're saying
Dylan Brooks can stand over the guy after he clocks him in the head, breaks his elbow, and gives him a concussion, and that's fine.
Okay, but you just said he trucked him in the air. He pushed him in the air. No, that was a basketball play. He didn't think that.
Oh my gosh,
that was a basketball play. That was a basketball play going for a block.
Name one NBA player on social media, on TV, anywhere in the last 2 days
never gotten hit in the head.
That was a basketball play.
That was a basketball play. He was going up for a left-handed layup, and he got smacked in the back of the head, on the side of the head.
Oh,
that's a basketball play.
No, Richie, I don't want it. I don't want to show it.
No, show it. No, I do want to show that because I think you're wrong. That was a basketball play. He was going for a block, and that Draymond Green was genuinely grabbing a guy by the jersey and slamming him down. Yeah, okay, he went to catch him. You know why? Because he's like, oh fuck, I fucked up. That's exactly what that was.
Yes, Draymond made a mistake and had remorse. I'm not saying that wasn't a foul. I'm not saying that wasn't a bad play. I'm saying Dylan Brooks stood over Gary Payton II.
That's wrong.
After he clubbed him in the head.
Agree. But I thought he was going for the basketball. I don't think that he intentionally was like,
no.
I don't think he was doing that.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think he was doing that.
Don't even.
And the fact that you have the fact that you have a coach that goes out there and uses his where he's at because
okay,
go ahead.
Hi.
Yes,
so
he's good. He's defending his player. So Bruce, if one of your players got clocked in the head and had a broken elbow, you wouldn't defend him publicly. You just say, "Oh, it was a basketball play."
Of course, I would, but I wouldn't also. I would not.
You're telling me you would do no. I want you to look me in the eyes and tell me you would do that.
I want you to understand this too, though. I would not. Yes, I'd be pissed off.
I want you to look me in the eyes and tell me
you would do that. Of course, but also at the same time, though, I would never allow one of my guys that are on my team to freaking pull down another kid from
I'm not questioning whether or not
what Draymond did
was a flagrant foul. You're saying what Dylan Brooks did was perfectly fine. You have no issue with it.
I didn't say it was perfectly fine. I thought it was a basketball play.
That it was a basketball play.
I do not think that was intentional. Genuinely, I do not think that was intentional. At the moment, as a basketball coach, I'd be pissed off. I would have done the same thing Steve Kerr did, but I wouldn't have ever tried to be like, oh, I think they should have come down on him hard. Blah blah blah. Hold on, Richie, what'd you want to say?
I got nothing else to say on that because that's just ridiculous.
I would have gotten the clip, but I have to update my program that I use to get the clips. So I after further evaluation of watching this video multiple times,
run it back.
It looks as though this man. Hold on, I'm rewatching it one more time.
This man.
But I'm just going to watch it one more time. It looks as though this man. It looked relatively innocent.
Who are you talking about?
It didn't look.
Dylan Brooks.
The injury.
Oh, Dylan Brooks.
It didn't look. In the video, he puts his hand on his back, but he is going. Hold on.
Go ahead.
He puts his hand on his back as he's jumping up in the air to block the ball, but it doesn't look like he's intentionally shoving him to, you know what I mean? So it looks as though it was, to Bruce's point, it does look like a basketball play because it doesn't look. Yeah, see, he puts his hand on his back for leverage.
I wish we could have it.
Block.
I wish.
I wish we could have it too, but I have to update my program. And yeah, I apologize, but yeah, basically from what I got, he puts his hand on his back for leverage. He jumps up in the air, smacks him in the head. He's going to go for the block, but it doesn't look like he's going, shoving him to the ground or anything.
And then proceeds to stand over him and yell at him,
which is wrong, and I agree with that. 100%.
Okay, well, that's a different story. We're we're talking 100%. About Oh, he doesn't even do that. He doesn't stand over him. I'm watching it right now. He goes up to him to almost to check on him and then walks away. He doesn't stand over him. Nothing. I mean, I'm being the Switzerland of
no,
mediator here.
And I don't, and I'm not, and I'm and to me, and he jumps out, and I'm totally not disagreeing with what you're saying, with what Steve Kerr did. I just didn't like the way he approached some of the aspects of that interview. That being said, though,
Steve Kerr, as a basketball player, was saying there's a code. When somebody's in midair, you don't do that to him.
Says the guy
there's a way to block that shot without clubbing him in the head.
Says the guy that had a player that pulled a guy in the air down.
I'm not saying what Draymond Green did wasn't a flagrant foul. I never said that.
But that wasn't one was a basketball play. One was a basketball play. One was a basketball play. One was not. And I think Steve Kerr's reaction was wrong, and it was shit. That's it.
And you would have done the same thing as a coach.
Okay, be that as it may. He's protecting his guy, and he should.
Right. He was protecting his guy. That's his job, Bruce.
But as somebody that is an impartial
Bruce, where is
party,
Steve Kerr's job description? Is it to be politically correct?
As an impartial party,
his job is to defend his guys.
Oh my! As an impartial party, and this is what we are because we're a sports thing. We're supposed to see that as an impartial party.
Yeah, and I'm saying impartially. Nowhere in Steve Kerr's job description does it say? Whether it's Steve Kerr, Tom Thibodeau, anyone else.
And I could say it's wrong.
How is it wrong?
I could say it is wrong because
Steve Kerr gets paid by the Golden State Warriors to coach and defend and do everything for the Golden State Warriors.
Correct.
Not to make you or I happy.
Correct. But at the end of the day, though, like you and I are having a conversation about it, and I could say that he was wrong. Why can't I say that?
I don't understand where he was wrong. Like I don't understand what Steve
Kerr
did it was somebody else.
Again,
what did Steve Kerr do that produces harm to someone else?
Again, it was a basketball play, and you're defending your guy, and I get that.
This is not productive, Bruce. This is not doing anything.
Well, no, and I'm saying like he's defending his guy. He should, and I said that already. Okay. However, you can't go out there and say what you said about that play, and then have a guy.
No offense, but I'm going to trust the guy who played in the NBA on whether or not. It was
and have a guy. Okay, but you also asked. But you also asked for my opinion, so I'm giving it to you. So you have another. Yes, you did because you're like as a coach, you would understand what he's doing. So I'm giving you my thing as a coach. So that being said, I agree. I think he should totally do that and defend his guy. But at the same time, you have a guy that's on your team that does not do a basketball play, and you have a guy going up and getting in for a play and getting pulled down. You can't play the game both ways. And I get why he's doing it, but as an outside observer of it, like it sucks. He's a great coach. He's a great freaking person. And I really like Draymond Green. And to be honest with you, I would love for that guy to be on the Bulls because I would root for him like crazy because I think he's a badass person. And honestly, he's a guy that I want people to hate because dude, that was me. I want that. I think it's such a cool energy. But in my opinion, I just didn't like it. That's it. And the Warriors win the series.
Okay. Richie, you talk. I'm done with this guy.
Okay.
Oh,
wow.
Wow.
Well, it is. Well, to end this,
Golden State still looking to crack the seal. Payton right down the middle. He's fouled hard. And Payton's in pain. He's grabbing the left arm. It was right at the end. Morant grabbed him initially, then Brooks got there late with the swipe, and he clubbed him on the side of the head.
And the awkward landing at the end, he tried to brace himself, which is natural. One more time.
And Jim just trying to break his fall. Payton at the end stuck his hand out. And Scott Foster will deliver it.
Foul on the floor has been upgraded to a flagrant foul penalty, too, for wind-up, impact, and follow-through to the head. While the player was prone to injury, Dylan Brooks will be ejected from the game. Gary Payton will shoot two, and they retain possession of the ball.
Brooks is done.
So it looked fairly, sorry, my bad. It looked fairly innocent to me, and I, as someone who played organized basketball myself, not to brag or anything. I can see where chasing someone down like that, there isn't much room for air.
Swing. No, there isn't. I agree.
Okay, so the swing, it was a reckless swing. I don't necessarily think he was trying to smack him in the head, but it was a reckless swing to get the ball.
Agree.
But in terms of him trying to jump up for the block, he was using his back as leverage. Now, did putting his hand on his back as for leverage probably push him a little bit?
Right, because he's going up.
Yes.
He's going up.
Because he's also running at probably 10, 15 miles an hour. God knows the athletes in that sport, but it doesn't look like he's got his malicious intent. Like he's not going down there to shove the motherfucker, to the ground or anything like that.
Right.
He could have done without the swing, but
to kind of speak to also,
I don't think that was a flagrant 2. It would have been a I don't think that deserved to be ejected. Okay, I think the only reason that looked as bad as it did was because he got hurt.
Well, right.
If he didn't get hurt, I don't think it's a flagrant 2.
But to speak to what MJ was saying, though, the fact that it was a flagrant 2, and a flagrant 2 is categorized by the NBA, and I'm paraphrasing, as a non-basketball contact play that was
Probably like
egregious
from
or whatever.
malicious intent as well, probably.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yes,
So from that perspective, yes, I understand his points. I understand his comments. Again, but like, I just don't think that was as egregious as Draymond Green ripping someone down. That was it. That was my thing. I don't know. I had fun. I thought it was a great show.
I had a great time. Hey, MJ, you want to come back in?
You want to come back in, MJ?
Hey,
Sure.
there we go. I'll leave now.
I was just done talking about it. I didn't want to talk about it for 15 minutes. I didn't think it was that important. I actually wanted to talk about the playoffs.
Oh, fair.
Not 2 flagrant fouls, but here we are.
All right. So
Also, a flagrant foul penalty 2 is deemed as an unnecessary and excessive foul committed by a player against an opponent.
right.
That was
So like what I said.
unnecessary and excessive. So it was flagrant 2.
Right.
It was for, as Scott Foster said, it was for the windup and for the chance of injury. Because when somebody is airborne, as Steve Kerr said, there is an increased chance for injury. So,
Again. Anyway, so who wins the series?
Golden State, 6.
Agree. I actually do agree with it. I picked them to win the 6, so and win some money.
Yeah, you'll definitely win money on that one.
That's the hope. Anything else?
No, like I said, I wanted to actually talk about the games and the competition.
We can.
Instead of you just ripping on Draymond and Steve Kerr.
I would say ripping.
I didn't even want. I just wanted to be like, yeah. 2
I just
flagrant
wanted to hear your
fouls, 2
thoughts on it.
ejections.
I wanted to hear your thoughts on it. I just didn't think that it was.
Well, you also prefaced it with, "If you don't agree with me, I disrespect you as a person." So that's going to put me on.
That is
the
not what I
defensive.
said. Oh, that is not what I said.
No, sorry. You said, "If
not.
you don't agree, I kind of think that's bullshit." Were your exact words. So yes, that's going to put me on the defensive.
I don't disagree with that.
When you preface it with that.
Hey, MJ.
What?
I still love you.